Pass to Porzingis. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle in a lot of contests.
And it seemed like he had added the fadeaway to his game, molded a little bit after Dirk Nowitzki.
Carmelo's reasoning was that he had been burned.
Game, terrific mid-range game, and this shot makes that even deadlier.
The third pick overall in the 2003 NBA draft was in some pretty good company at the top of that one, as I recall.
I mean, you had LeBron going 1, and of course Darko Milicic was number 2 on that list. But how about D-Wade at 4? A little bit of a surprise, Chris Bosh. You know, all those guys, with the exception of Melo, have rings.
Galloway, the pass to Aflalo. Here's Galloway. He has 6. Outside Anthony to the middle. Lopez. That's in there. Anthony with the assist. Lopez has got his second bucket of the night.
And back to Melo's top 5 draft mates in 2003, all having rings. You can't choose the team you play for as a rookie. Melo simply had a team last season.
Here's Galloway. Aflalo up top. And unable there to get the go-ahead bucket.
Hey, guys, talking about Melo, I mean, he's faced some difficult injuries here of late. That puts all the more pressure on him to win a ring as soon as possible. No way does he want to retire without that chance.
All right, well, look at how the hustle game has been going for the Knicks.
Contested shots and block shots. They're bread and butter defensively. They're giving up no easy looks.
But also, they put the offense on its heel. Look at the number of steals they've been able to get. And that's something they also can take great pride in.
Catching up on the changes for New York. So a close game sees New York take this one. That was a fun night of basketball.
You got to forget about that one.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Many thanks, Kevin. So now we move on to our Jordan player of the game, Carmelo Anthony. He made all the key plays every step of the way. They depend on him to deliver. And that'll do it for our broadcast tonight. Hope you enjoy.
What a life, eh, freak? 1 minute you're playing 21 and horse on the courts in Harlem, and the next moment you're in the showroom, configuring the gunmetal and graphite exterior of your luxury car and your iPad mini. Oh, I bet you get a crazy crowd when you drive that car around the block in the old neighborhood, huh?
Yeah, I'm living the dream. Mad pandemonium. But folks from back around the way are real proud of me.
Yeah, I hear you. Local kid makes good. You know, it kind of reminds me of when I took my tech stock public and I rang the New York Stock Exchange bell, and my mom's friends called her up and said, "Maggie, is that your son on Bloomberg News this morning ringing the bell?" And my mom says, "Yes, sirree, Bob, it was him." That was a great moment, freak. And you know, our lives are like a pearl necklace of great moments, all strung together with the finest silk thread of memories. And we have to be very careful how we cultivate those pearls and we thread that necklace.
Does this meeting by any chance have to do with Vic Van Leer?
I grew up in the burbs, freak. I wasn't poor, upper middle class, comfortable. My daddy worked as an accountant for one of the largest insurance firms in the country. Smart with his money. Mom didn't have to work. I went to boarding school. And my dad died of a heart attack when I was a freshman at MIT. I was a movie geek, wanted to be a civil engineer, but I made my fortune by becoming a hybrid of both those interests. My dad didn't want me to be an accountant. Oh, listen to this. My best friend was a guy named Isidore. Yeah, we called him Izzy. He was one of the smartest human beings I have ever met in my life. I mean, Izzy was taking second-year college calculus courses as a high school sophomore, right? Straight-A student, full ride to MIT. Izzy had the world at his fingertips. But he was always looking for trouble, and trouble found him. He ran with the wrong crowd. And when we got to MIT, he got this great job working for a financial consulting firm in Boston. But every weekend, he would fly to Vegas. You see, Izzy had a system for counting cards in Vegas that had the big casinos on the Strip. Oh, it's stymied. He would come back to MIT with suitcases filled with $200,000 in cold cash.
What? Tell you about Vic. He has his bad rap.
On some chill, we go 0 to 100 real quick. They be on that rap to pay the bills.
We got Kevin Durant up next. And you know he'll come to play. I love his versatility, but that makes shutting him down next to impossible. Coach gave us a full breakdown of what to expect. We watched plenty of film. But sometimes you just got to throw all that out the window and settle things on the court. And I'm ready. Bring it, KD.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The Hawks continue their journey as they play an interconference matchup in this road game. Buckle yourselves in, everybody. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan, and here with me today, Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. Taking a look at Oklahoma City, winning their last 3 games. They'd like to make that 4 in a row here tonight.
And I think for Oklahoma City, they're one of the NBA's early season success stories. They've made an immediate push toward the top of the standings.
I'm not sure how long they'll be able to stick around up there, but so far it's been a lot of fun to see how much progress they're making.
Looking at the starting 5 for the Atlanta Hawks.
Freak.
Kev, I caught up with Coach Billy Donovan. He talked about the impact that Al Horford can have on a game and how they'll have their work cut out for them dealing with him. He said Horford's just a complete ball player. He does all the things you want from a big man. He can shoot, handle, and pass. He's always a tough matchup, but it starts with matching his energy level. Kevin, we'll see if they have what it takes.
Thanks, Doris.
Yeah, and a big year for Enes Kanter last season. I was hoping for it.
The Atlanta Hawks coming to this one after the win against Dallas.
And how about the accuracy that was on display from three-point range in that game? They were lethal.
Yeah, splashing those threes as they did really allowed them to continuously deflate that crowd and keep them at bay. Boy, that was a nice road win for them, no doubt.
How about the way he's able to angle his body to shield the big fella off and still get the finish?
You've got to be clever with your sleight of hand when you get inside and try to finish against the bigger guys. And he made it look easy that time.
Man, Al Horford really has become one of those elite two-way big men. And that's very rare. You look at most bigs in the NBA, they excel at either one end or the other, but this is one of those guys that does it all.
Catching up on the changes for Oklahoma City. Steven Adams, he's checked in for Cantor. Mitch McGarry comes in for Serge Ibaka. And Anthony Morrow subbed in for Waiters.
They've been beating them to a lot of those loose balls and rebounds here to start.
Yeah, the half and half balls are going their way, and that's really a function of effort and intensity. You know, the ball doesn't discriminate. Whoever goes and gets it, that's who owns it.
And with the offense getting right to the rim, at least they saved the layup.
Old school D right there, just telling them no easy layups. It's as simple as that. And that's what you expect from them.
Mike Scott's checked in for Al Horford. No good on the second free throw. And Horford at 6'10", a natural power forward who's been pressed into duty at the center spot, but he holds his own on the low block.
He also does a really good job, Kevin, moving his feet and covering in space, covering the pick and roll. He's outstanding in that regard, which is important in today's game. He's got mobility and a high IQ.
Now here's Durant, following the miss by Freak. The tray. Scott pulls it in.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
And the officials into the backcourt violation. Not very careful there.
And here's a look at some stats for Westbrook. He's been on a remarkable tear this past month. First in assists, third in steals, and don't forget top 5 in the league in points per game. He's a premier offensive threat night in and night out.
And I think we're talking about the ultimate competitor here. I mean, he maximizes every possession and just shreds defenses.
And he can time his passes so perfectly. Wow, what an assist.
Splitter kicks it over to Schroeder. Scott with a screen on Durant. Hardaway dishes to Freak. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. But one thing about the Hawks last year is they were very strong on the road, as you could have guessed.
Yeah, but Kevin, they struggled a little bit down the stretch on the road, but still managed to have the best road record in the East.
Let's get a stop and how about that road record for the Hawks? 25-16 last season. 9 of those wins came during that 19-game winning streak in early 2015.
Boy, you look at the Hawks, and they seem to be built to play on the road because they can survive a player having an off game. They're so deep and versatile. Team basketball is a lot less prone to go cold when you're on the road.
Here is Splitter. He picked up 12 points in their last win against Dallas.
And he was also a big factor for them defensively. I think he tallied 4 blocks in the game.
Just 4 to shoot. Hardaway for 3. And a high-scoring first quarter. Both teams really filling it up. Thunder lead by 3. And don't go away. We'll be back with the action for the start of the second quarter in just a moment. And here's Freak on his experience as a one-and-done college player. Now with more and more freshmen, Clark, making the jump to the pros, we can expect to hear more stories. Baca. And Kevin Durant has subbed in for Anthony Morrow. The Hawks trail by 10 on the court for Atlanta. Freak in at shooting guard. Splitter is out there with Scott. Then there's Dennis Schroeder, and it's Hardaway in at the 3 spot. Splitter sets a screen. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Freak. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. When you look at the roster of the Thunder from last year, Clark, they knew how to build from within.
Well, last season's roster, everybody but one player was either drafted or acquired via trade. That's a rare combo in the NBA.
And guys, for the Thunder, listen, they're not a big market team. They've had to make sacrifices with money to stay competitive. They do a terrific job with the limitations that small market presents.
Westbrook with it. 29 points for him last game against the Grizzlies in Memphis.
And also, he competed on the backboards. That also had a lot to do with the game.
It's Durant with the drive. And again, no good by Oklahoma City.
And, you know, as we've seen, success in the NBA can come in a lot of different packages. I mean, it can happen without the big free agent signing or spending. It helps to draft a guy like Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, for that matter.
Shots good by Waiters.
It just seems like the more he touches it, the more the lead grows.
The Hawks trail by 11. 1:36 left in the first half. Here's Freak. Gets the jumper from the corner to fall. Freak's got 5. 1:27 left now here in the second. Now here's Waiters. He had 16 points in the win against Memphis. The drive by Collison. Nice D from Scott.
Oh, that's terrific defense there. That's how you protect the rim.
Shooter passes to Freak. Lets it go from the wing, and he drops that one in. He has 7.
Guys, you know, you're not going to hit that shot too often. That's high risk.
Now, here's Westbrook. He's guarded by Schroeder. Finished off by Westbrook.
And what a beautiful way to polish off that sequence. Just strong and attacking the rim.
That just puts a little more momentum on their side, don't you think?
Absolutely.
The defense got seconds left in the first half of the game. And it's Waiters atop the key. Kicks it to Durant. A 3-ball. Atlanta with the rebound.
He continues to struggle from the field. But luckily for him and his team, his teammates have been able to pick him up and get the job done.
There's 14 seconds left to play in the first half. There's a screen. Just 5 on the clock. Schroeder with the ball. Guarded now by Durant. And it's Freak missing.
And you really thought that was going to be a gimme, but unable to convert.
Yeah, and a little self-talk. Angry self-talk for himself after that miss.
So we've reached the end of the...
Well, Russell, you've played with such force throughout the first half. What's...
And now the third quarter about to get going. It's been one outstanding game from Dion Waiters.
I know we've said this many times before, but what a great first half.
Anthony Morrow subbed in for Dion Waiters. Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the third quarter. Morrow is the 2 with Durant the 3. McGarry out there with Adams, and it's Westbrook in at the point guard position. That's the lineup in the game for Oklahoma City. Splitter sets a screen. Hardaway, and he sinks the shot coming off the strong pick. Hardaway has got his first basket of the night.
Well, I tell you, last season was a big one for the Hawks and Coach Budenholzer. Their dominant season won him multiple Coach of the Month titles, and eventually he won the Coach of the Year award.
The Hawks trail by 3. Schroeder kicks to Splitter. There's 1:54 left here in the third quarter. Pass to Hardaway. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Back to Splitter. That drops, and it comes off the assist from Hardaway.
Give credit where credit is due right there. A terrific assist.
Looking at Oklahoma City, they took the win in their last game against Memphis.
They just looked stable pretty much from the get-go, guys. I mean, sometimes you'll see some inconsistencies come up in a road game that you don't see at home, but not the case in that one.
Tremendous balance on display, Greg. I mean, when you look at who was carrying the scoring load, making assists, playing unselfishly, I mean, they had it all working, and that led to the nice road win.
1:22 left to play in the third.
Move the ball.
And there's the feed to Schroeder. Splitter with a screen on Westbrook. Back to Splitter for the lead. Somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup.
Nice pass there to set that bucket up.
And that's 10 of their last 12 points that have come off assists.
Morrow dishes to Westbrook. Feeds it to Durant. 52 seconds left to play here in the third. Adams' shot is good. Clark, third quarter here, and 5 lead changes so far.
Yeah, it's really been a bit of a tug of war. Back and forth we go.
And, guys, neither team has been able to pull away.
Adams against Scott. Outside Hardaway. Back to Scott. All sorts of time. It's hauled in by Adams.
And they haven't been able to turn it into a big lead, but their rebounding advantage is starting to add up.
Yeah, still close, but with their tough play on the boards, we're certainly seeing the effort. They're straying away from the three-point game here in the second half. And that's fine as long as they're on the lead and they're getting good shots. They've decided not to take nearly as many three-pointers in this half.
Now here's Schroeder. He's covered by Westbrook. The drive by Scott nails the runner.
Wow, what a pass there. He made that a very easy basket with that setup.
Westbrook, no good. And as we finish the third quarter, it's still close. Both teams trading baskets. Thunder lead by 1. And after a quick break, we're going to come right back with the start of the fourth quarter. And thanks for joining us again as the fourth quarter of play is set to get rolling. It's been a close battle to this point. Setting for a look for Oklahoma City. Adams comes in for Dion Waiters. And Mitch McGarry subbed in for Kevin Durant. And a switch here also for Atlanta. Freaks checked in on the court for Atlanta. Millsap at power forward with Horford at the center. Kyle Korver is out there with Freak. And it's Cephalosha in at the small forward. Ibaka outside with the fadeaway. Yes! And now they trail by just 4.
He can be a matchup nightmare if he can get it in the paint.
And now we've got the intentional foul.
Yeah, you know what? Smart foul. You got to try and extend the game.
Sure, it's not over. The clock is as much a problem for them as the score is right now, so they got to try to manage it.
And so he drops them both. It's a 6-point ball game.
And that's exactly how you close a game out. Those free throws will bury them for sure.
.12 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Adams, the pass to Durant. Westbrook kicks to Waiters. Shoots the 3. From deep. And the miss. And so it's Atlanta with the W. This was a hard-fought, well-earned victory for them, Greg. They really had to work for this win.
That's a good point. I mean,
we were men amongst boys tonight.
Whew. Well, I'm here with Paul Millsap.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Thank you, Kevin. And now we have the opportunity to present our Jordan Al Horford. He delivered quite a star performance. Not uncommon, as we've seen him have this sort of terrific night many times.
Yeah, Al Horford put in.
And that'll do it for tonight. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and our illustrious 2K Sports crew, this is Ernie Johnson. Have a good night, everybody.
The only color I care about is green, money. Now, you've certainly made some money so far, Freak, but it's time.
Mr. Dom Pag.
Super. Future. I can't live.
We got James Harden and that beard of his. Look, this guy's relentless. We know he's going to attack the basket all night long, so I'm going to make it my personal mission to keep that from happening. As long as we keep jumping those passing lanes, we can give them a run for their money. I know I'll be ready.
Let's take them back.
It's that time of the year. Happy holidays, everyone, from 2K Sports as we get set to bring you some mid-season NBA action. Along with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. Houston Rockets here at home in an interconference matchup should be a good one. And this game, the first chance they've had to see Atlanta. They lost both of the matchups in this interconference battle a season ago. They like to change that now.
Yeah, and last year it didn't matter whether it was on the home or on the road. They failed to take a game.
Players checked in for Horford. Scott comes in for Paul Millsap. And Freak subbed in for Thabo Cephalosha. Well, looking back on last season, you could see the Rockets were tough at home. They just were relentless at going at teams.
Yeah, how about a 30-11 record last year? And a lot of close ones for them, but that home crowd at times could just really will them to victory.
As it did help in the series against the Clippers last year in the playoffs. On the court for Atlanta, Freak, he's in at the point. Splitter is out there with Mike Scott. Then there's Kyle Korver, and it's Teague in at the 2. Now we'll go to Doris Burke, who had a chance to talk with head coach Kevin McHale.
Yes, Kevin, he told me that when you're playing against a team that can finish inside as efficiently as this team does, they don't want to allow any looks easily on the interior. He said if they can limit them in that department, they'll be in good shape.
Thanks, Doris. And he uses the glass on the layup.
And, you know, for Houston's wins at home, a lot of it had to do with their three-point shooting. I mean, they shot an average of 35% from behind the arc at home, but kept their opponents to under 30% on the year in Houston. Another nice bucket down low. They've really been able to work the ball into the post effectively so far.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see them operating a lot of their offense from the interior today.
Houston's gone 3 of 3 from deep. 9 points rung up from outside here in the first.
And guys, this is what makes Houston so good and why they've been so good for so long. In the last 31 seasons, they've only had 2 losing seasons. Only team in the league to do that.
That's basket number 2 with his third shot off to a fast 2 for 3.
He's hit the ground running here in the first, putting together a nice quarter offensively.
Austin right side.
Gonna give me all night with that cheap stuff.
That's his first personal foul.
You know, Clark, the one thing you can say about Ty Lawson is his awareness around the floor. He's just ubiquitous, and his court vision is incredible.
Excellent peripheral vision. He averaged almost 10 assists a game last season. That's the best year of his career thus far.
For the Rockets, Jones checked in for Monty Eunice. Brewer comes in for Trevor Ariza. And it's Patrick Beverly in for James Harden. Tim Hardaway Jr.'s checked in for Atlanta. Dennis Schroeder comes in for Jeff Teague. And he's good on the second. 1:04 left here in the first quarter. Pass the splitter. The feed now to Hardaway. Shot clock at 5. Splitter kicks to Freak. And the shot falls short this time.
And for Ty Lawson, playmaking isn't a concern. He's got that. His shooting accuracy, though, seems to drop every year. In fact, the last 2 years have been the worst of his career.
He nails it, and we're tied up.
He's trying to get it going offensively, but right now just 1 of 4 to start.
Atlanta's gone 2 of 5 from three-point land here in the first quarter. Pass to Schroeder. And it's going to be a 3-second call.
3-second violation. Houston ball. Marcus Thornton.
Thornton up on top, guarded by Hardaway. Thornton dishes to Beverly. 1 second left. Got it off in time, but it's no good. And that concludes a high-scoring first quarter with both teams tied up. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter after this. Coach Kevin McHale doing well in Houston. He certainly has a fan in his shooting guard, James Harden. Well, there's no doubt there's great respect that Harden is showing for Coach Kevin McHale, which is what you need sometimes as a coach. You've got to command that respect from your players.
You know, it's kind of like a honeymoon period. You know, when it's clicking, it's like magic, and you just try to keep it going. But it all comes down to the coach listening, sharing, and taking the players' opinion.
And a little under 3.5 minutes elapsed in this second quarter of play. Certainly the biggest surprise last year, Clark, was the play of the Atlanta Hawks. You would have picked them to win the East at the start of the season.
Well, they did it, and they earned it. The Hawks didn't have any superstars on their roster, but they won with solid team play.
There's the lob to the hoop, and it's Howard finishing it off.
Incredible timing on the alley-oop.
He absolutely hammered it down.
And guys, mark that play right there, because that could be the one that leads to a surge to break this thing wide open.
And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, Kev, Freak in the last matchup against the Pacers was a major factor. He had 11 points, and in addition to his scoring, he also came away with a season high for rebounds. It was a great contribution from someone who is considered a bit more of a role player on his team.
All right, Doris, thanks. That really was a spectacular game for him, even by his standards, guys.
And how about the high standards he has for himself? Really did have it all working for him in that game.
Anxious to see what's in his mind for an encore today. I mean, it'd be awfully difficult to top that last game.
And both free throws good from Freak. Well, looking back on last season, you didn't know where the Rockets would end up in terms of seeding in the playoffs. Ended up with the 2 seed because they won the Southwest Division. And as it turned out, everything worked out very well for them.
It really did, and had a divisional matchup in that first round against the Mavs. But the Rockets took care of business in that series and would advance.
Back to Korver. Pass to Freak. He sinks the 11-footer. Freak's got 6.
They had a major gut check in the second round. Went down 3-1 against the Clippers. Came back to win the series in 7, including Game 6, when I dozed off when they were trailing by 19 in the 4th and was shocked to wake up in the morning and see they had forced the 7th game.
From 13, and Jones pulls it down. Houston's gotten half their shots from three-point range to go down in the second quarter. 3 of 6 from downtown. Fires from 18. That one's in there. Rocket lead is cut to just 3 points on the basket from Freak.
And with the Rockets last postseason, their trip to the conference finals was as far as they would go. And went out to the Warriors in 5 games. Most of them, though, close ones. I think most fans were pleased with how far the team went last year in spite of all the injuries.
They recover it. And he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
And really, he epitomizes what a point guard should be. I mean, his skills as a passer might actually be matched by that creativity he shows around the rim.
Well, judging by that jam, Greg, I'd say you're absolutely right.
Boy, that's a nice surge for them just when they needed it in a game that was so tight.
Puts it up from 12 and off the front iron, and in it goes. 9 points for James Harden.
You know, his ability is matched only by his energy, guys. I mean, he's usually in the middle of everything for his team.
And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. Houston on top, leading by 3. And a chance now to send you over.
Thank you, Kevin. Dwight, what's your assessment of...
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball. You look at Monty Eunice today, he's been every place.
Yeah, created a lot of quality shots for himself in that first half, and he knew when to pass it up when the double team came.
And that...
Here. Jones checked in for Howard. Brewer comes in for Trevor Ariza. Marcus Thornton, he's checked in for James Harden. And it's Patrick Beverly in for Ty Lawson. And the Hawks will go for a different look here. Splitters checked in for Horford. Tim Hardaway Jr. comes in for Cephalosha. Freaks checked in for Kyle Korver. And Dennis Schroeder subbed in for Jeff Teague. On the court for Atlanta, Freak in at shooting guard. Paul Millsap out there with Hardaway. Then it's Splitter. And continuing to expand his arsenal last season, Patrick Beverly, the guard for the Rockets. Career highs in assists and rebounds per game, and he's one of the smallest guys in the floor.
Yeah, and he's really working on the details of becoming a better playmaker, becoming a guy that has coaches trust him to handle the basketball in those crucial situations. Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
Blatant contact, straightforward call, simple.
Both good from the line that time.
You know, talking about Beverly, his wrist injury really changed things for the Rockets at the end of last season. Suddenly, 37-year-old Jason Terry had to take on big minutes at the point, and he was serviceable, but they missed Beverly's toughness on defense particularly.
The pass to Montejunas. And some nice passing there by Houston. Thornton. And Splitter pulls it down. The Hawks trail it. Freak passes to Splitter. Splitter sets a screen for the tie. Right side Hardaway. Drops in the tray. Hardaway has got 5 points now this quarter.
And going back to the one thing with Patrick Beverley, his shot could still be more consistent. Last year, he was down in shooting averages across the board, including just 38% from the field. It makes it very difficult on your offense when you have an inability to space the floor. No doubt he's struggling right now from the field. Let's see if he can get it going this quarter.
Beverley against Hardaway. Splitter kicks to Millsap. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
Well, you know, they're in the lead, but he's still been frustrated from an offensive standpoint.
They get it back. Takes it into the teeth of the D and converts the layup. And the Rockets lead by 1.
3 consecutive baskets have come right at the rim. The defense had better start buckling down and tightening up.
Guys, they are getting exposed in terms of their low post defense.
Millsap a screen, 6 to shoot. Here's Hardaway. Hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good. Hardaway has got 7 points in the game. Brewer pushes to Beverley. There's a screen by Montejunas. Beverley the pass to Thornton. And he lays it straight in. Thornton's got his second basket of the night. But this game has a lot of character here in the third period.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I love seeing this type of action. A competitive, compelling matchup. A lot of lead changes here so far.
Yeah, 6 already. Intensity is the theme for this.
Thanks for joining us again as we get set for the fourth quarter. A terrific game so far. Houston making some changes. Montejunas is checked in for Ariza. And it's Patrick Beverley in for Ty Lawson. And then for Atlanta, Millsap comes in for Splitter. And Freak subbed in for Jeff T.
And clearly. Quick hands on the steal and then just mad hops on the slant.
Great sequence for them defensively and Clark offensively.
Well, one usually leads to the other, Kevin. That's just good, aggressive, attacking basketball at both ends.
And that replay sponsored by Kia, the Kia Slam Cam, giving us a great look at that one.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
And Millsap steps it in.
And this is going to be a fantastic result for them. No win on the road comes easy.
Not in the NBA, they don't. And trust me, they're going to take a little extra pleasure in this win, having silenced an entire building of hostile fans.
2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Here's Beverley. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
No, I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, then make sure that you don't give a chance for the and one.
He makes 1 of 2 that time. Now here's Freak, the 17-footer. Offensive rebound.
And whether he's a great off-balance shooter or not, the lean is probably not the best option on that shot.
And so it's the Hawks taking care of business in this one. This was a very strong showing for him, Greg. Not necessarily a runaway win, but one they'll feel very good about.
And let's face it, anytime you can go on the road and win in the fashion they did, you have to feel good about it. Really an outstanding effort all the way around.
And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Very productive offensive night for you. What allowed you to be so effective in getting your scoring up?
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Many thanks, Kevin. So now we move on to our Jordan. Al Horford. The fourth quarter was all him. It was like he couldn't miss, and it was just one bat. And folks, that'll wrap it up for tonight. We hope you enjoyed the game. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K.
I told you, Dom Pagnotti always delivers. Brand Jordan Freak prototypes. Open the box, check them out.
Ooh, it's like Christmas and my birthday on the same day. Oh, Dom.
You love them?
Right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
Yeah.
Being on some chill. We go.
And I know I want to get out of here with the win. We'll be back in front of the home crowd soon. But now's not the time to be looking ahead. I need to step up my game and help this team get it done. No excuses.
The Hawks continue their journey as they play an interconference matchup in this road game. And get ready for another dose of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony and Doris Burke reporting from the sidelines. The Nuggets with their last game here in Denver before heading back out. Looking at Denver, they got their last win against Detroit.
And in that game, guys, I mean, the beneficiary of what was some very lackluster defense being played against them.
Agreed, guys. It was really quite shocking and disappointing how many free runs to the hoop they got.
Moutier. And they're unable to get the tying basket there. Well, perhaps one of the most intriguing draft picks of this past summer, Emmanuel Moutier, can be a game-changing player. Was going to play, Clark, as you recall, at SMU for Larry Brown.
He sure was, and went overseas instead, so we don't know a ton about him other than his reputation is sterling. Now we'll see if he can live up to it.
And that one's good. Moutier's got his first 2 points.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
Feeds it to T. Splitter kicks to T. Pass to Horford. And Kenneth Fareed pulls it down.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
The Nuggets have been successful on 3 of their 4 free throw attempts up to this point.
And the season numbers for them at the line thus far are really poor. Something I'm sure they are making a point of emphasis.
You know, their percentages dropped off just a little bit compared to last year, guys, but it's not a huge drop-off, so no major concern.
Catching up on the changes for Denver. Laverne, he's checked in for Kenneth Fareed. Alinari comes in for Wilson Chandler. And Jameer Nelson is subbed in for Moutier. And it's Freak missing.
Boy, he blew the easy 2 by profile. Trying to look good. That's a bad decision and poor execution.
Gallinari against Scott. And Gallinari kicks to Barton. And the go-ahead bucket, no good. The Hawks leading. There's the pick. Schroeder with the ball. And it's Nelson picking him up. He got an advantage there off the pick and took it right in. Schroeder's got his first 2 points of the night.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy down there, and a little artistry on the inside helped him make it happen.
Nurkic kicks to Barton. With the teardrop, he lays it in.
I like it. I like it. He broke out the fancy finish there.
Hawks have gone 7 of 13, just over 50% from the floor. Some good looks. Kept alive by Atlanta. Denver's gone 0 of 3 from three-point land. Nothing yet going outside. Nelson kicks to Gallinari. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Really was a slow start for Gallinari last season. Took him a while to get back to speed after missing all of the 2013-14 season with that torn ACL.
Gallinari did get better and better over time, and he improved. He started to get back to his former self near the end of the season.
Yeah, had that huge 47-point explosion towards the end of last season. And listen, he's still a young guy and hopefully can continue to build after his injury woes.
And the Nuggets making a change here. Dorsey's checked in. And the free throw is good, now leading by 1.
And trailing here in the early going, too many careless fouls, and they're giving up a lot of trips to the line.
Yeah, not only the trips to the line are a concern, but the foul trouble also. You've got to play defense with your feet and do so without fouling.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Shot clock at 6. Here's Scott, and it's good. He planted his feet on the pick and shielded the defender off.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Up some points. The Hawks transitioning from college to the pros can be a challenge for many players. Here's what Freak had to say about adjusting his game to the NBA. Good points, Clark. What role do coaches play in helping young players like that adjust to the long NBA schedule?
Well, you know, Kevin, they're going to give their teams the best.
Nurkic checked in for Dorsey. Hickson comes in for Kenneth Fareed. Gallinari, he's checked in for Wilson Chandler. And it's Will Barton in for Moutier. And the Hawks will go for a different look here. Splitter's checked in for Horford. Mike Scott comes in for Paul Millsap. Tim Hardaway Jr.'s checked in for Cephalosha. And Freak subbed in for Dennis Schroeder. On the court for Atlanta, Freak in at point guard. Splitter is out there with Mike Scott. Then there's Teague, and it's Hardaway in at the 3 spot. Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, Kev, Freak in the last matchup against the Suns stepped up to deliver. He had 6 points, and he also added a few assists as he set up his teammates as well. Overall, just an incredible bonus for his team as he made a big impact coming off the bench.
All right, thanks, Doris. He's got a lot of positives to take away from that game.
He really does. It was one of his better performances, and that's saying something because we've seen this guy have a lot of good ones.
And you'd have to imagine that he'll be out to build on it, to go one better here tonight. They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
And with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, you know, they haven't had to do much work on the perimeter.
No good. Good D by Nelson. Denver's gotten both of their 3-point attempts to go down here in the second quarter.
And that's how it's done. Find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Well, it was. I mean, a tight game like this one, you think they'd have a little more energy at the defensive end than that.
Guys, this offense very effective.
Going right at them.
And guys, the defense has been no match. They've just picked them apart.
The Hawks trail by 4. Here's Freak. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Nice pass that time. What excellent vision by Jeff Teague out there.
Laverne, he's checked in for the Nuggets. And let's get your take, guys, on the scoring breakdown for Denver.
A lot of time they've been spending at the foul line so far, guys. They'll take those points all game long if they can get them.
And also, how about the willingness to attack the basket and challenge the defense here tonight? Almost an impossible shot to block in the post. The defender can't give up that much of a height advantage and expect to contest it.
They have a chance to go 2 for 1 here.
Let's see how they play the clock.
And it's Freak missing.
That's really too easy a chance to miss, guys. He needs to be more aggressive and focused on his finishes.
And just as J.J. Hickson seemed to be finding some rhythm in his career, Clark, last season happened. His production dropped like a rock.
Yeah, you know, Kevin, after 2 straight years where he was starting, last season he was asked to come off the bench. And for J.J. Hickson, that just did not seem to be a good fit.
Taking 2 shots.
And getting back to J.J. Hickson, he's forever had the size and strength to get it done. His problems have always been that lack of discipline and an unrefined set of tools. I mean, unfortunately, last season highlighted those flaws.
That misses, so he splits the free throws.
Talking about Hickson, every time you count him out, he surprises you with a streak of inspired play. Then every time you count him back in, he puts up a dud. Hard guy to figure out right now.
And he's really trying to get them back into it, but the results just have not been there.
He feeds it to Barton, and stolen by Jeff Teague. Now the Hawks moving it the other way, and that one's good. Teague's got 4 points now in the quarter. Nelson with it. He's coming off a 16-point game against Detroit. And that one's good. Nelson's got the lead up to 5 now for the Nuggets.
And he's made more than his fair share of those today.
And the first half comes to a close. We've got a close game going on here. Nuggets lead by 5. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Yes, guys, I've got Jameer.
Okay, guys.
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. Without a question, Wilson Chandler displaying his skills today. And the Nuggets with some changes. Yusuf Nurkic, he's checked in for Hickson. Gallinari comes in for Wilson Chandler. And Jameer Nelson is subbed in for Barton. For Reed and Nurkic in the middle. Moutier out there with Nelson. And it's Gallinari in at the 3 spot. That's the group in the game for the Nuggets. Got a piece of it, and they're able to recover. And the shot is good. Hawks trail by 5. Schroeder kicks to Scott. Dishes it to Schroeder. With the floater, and it's good on the way in. Schroeder's got his second bucket tonight.
How about that cloth soft touch? I mean, just a gentle little teardrop, almost like a falling leaf. A leaf falling down slowly to the ground. Very sweet and colorful, too.
Gallinari against Hardaway. 5 on the clock. Screen by Fareed. Here's Moutier. They get it again. Nurkic. And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul. Shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. And Atlanta gets called for the foul. And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for the Nuggets.
The activity level defensively, I've really been impressed with. They've been in attack mode on the defensive end.
Another part of their game that's made a difference tonight is all the second chance points they've been able to get.
Laverne, he's checked in for Fareed. Schroeder kicks to Hardaway. They set the pick. Splitter with a screen on Nelson. Out of bounds. Denver takes possession. And now it's time to look at our rookie leaderboard and see which of the first-year players are tops in assists during the last month. Emmanuel Moutier, number 1.
And he's been setting the table beautifully. I mean, that'll keep his veteran teammates really happy.
Greg, he's a fantastic facilitator. I mean, just makes everyone around him better with the willingness to play unselfishly. Well, it's been a great month for him.
Here's Nelson. Here's Nurkic. No good off the front iron.
Major defensive lapse right there. I mean, he's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You got to stay attached to him. They're lucky he couldn't punish them for it.
The dish to Freak. Denver grabs the miss. Nurkic has got 5 rebounds tonight.
A chance here to go 2 for 1.
Boy, they've got to ramp up the speed and make it happen in a hurry.
No other way to put it. Just a poor shooting performance for him, but luckily his teammates have picked up the slack.
And a wide open look for Freak. Hits the jumper in space. Freak's got 6.
Yeah, the shot clock's off. This could be the last possession of the quarter.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. That's exactly what they should have in mind here.
Here's Moutier. And he makes good on the layup. Moutier's got his 3rd bucket of the night.
Really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
You know, Greg, aggressiveness is really the only option when you're on the wrong side of the size equation.
And we're set to start the action up here in the 4th quarter. And if it's anything, Nuggets with some changes. Use of Nurkic. He's checked in for Hickson. Dorsey comes in for Wilson Chandler. And it's Gallinari in for Barton. Atlanta also making some changes here. Splitter comes in for Paul Millsap. And Freak subbed in for Jeff Teague. On the court for Atlanta, Freak, he's in at the point. Cephalosha is out there with Splitter. Then there's Horford. And it's Korver in at the 2 spot. He hits the first one, and that trims the lead to 6.
Horford having just a fantastic game. 16 points and 2 blocks.
No idea we'd see a performance like this one today.
The only way to describe it in my vocabulary is dominance.
J.J. Hickson, he's checked in for Denver. Will Barton comes in for Joey Dorsey. And the shot is good.
And if you thought this game was over already, you're probably right.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's staring us right in the face, and we've been around long enough to know when a game is over. And this one is in that category.
Yeah, you've got to make sure you're set when you set those screens, or they're going to call that on you.
Well, I thought maybe he was set. I know that's a difficult call to make, but I think they might have missed that one.
6 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Fareed dishes to Barton. There's the basket and make it a double-digit lead. And now a 10-point Nugget lead.
Didn't take their time in wrapping this game up. They came out with a sense of urgency.
Nice ending spurt to polish it off. Once they had him on the ropes, They started throwing haymakers at him.
The whole knockout blow.
Here's Freak. Can't cash in from close range. So it's the Nuggets winning this one easy.